This is a combined transformations question, which means that an original shape is transformed to give a second shape, and that shape is then transformed to give a third shape. This one particularly is a transform then describe, which means you're performing the first transformation on the given instructions, and then you're describing the transformation that takes the second shape to B. So let's read the question. A can be transformed by B to B by an enlargement by scale factor 1/2 from centre 1 minus 4, followed by a rotation. Describe the rotation. So first of all, let's do the enlargement. The enlargement is from centre 1 minus 4. I'm just going to underline those things as I would do in an exam so that they're easy to find later on. So mark the centre 1, -4, and the scale factor of enlargement is 1/2, which means the new shape will be half the size of the original shape and half the distance from the centre. Now, the first thing to do is to draw guidelines from the centre through the vertices of the original shape. Now take care when placing your ruler here that it does go through the vertices exactly. Now, if we count squares across and up, we can halve the number of squares. So here I have 6 squares across and 8 squares up, and that becomes 3 squares across and 4 squares up, and that lies on the grid line, so I'm very happy with that because that means I can be confident it's correct. The vertex here is 2 across and 10 up, so that becomes 1 across and 5 up, and again it lies on the grid line, which is good. And the last one is 6 across and 14 up, and that becomes 3 across and 7 up. And again, that lies on the grid line. So now I just need to join up my vertices. And I've performed the transformation. So the second part is to describe the transformation or the rotation specifically that takes this shape to B. So for that, I'm going to use some tracing paper or a baking sheet, as I have baking paper in the drawer, but I don't have tracing paper at home. So we need to find a centre of rotation that we can swivel or rotate around in order to go from A to B. So I'm going to draw A and B. So make sure, not A and B, sorry, the second shape in B. So I'm going to draw over B and draw over A. And then the usual way is to try and guess where the centre of rotation is and just have a go at rotating it. So about halfway, I think, is about here. So I try that. I put my point of my pencil on the centre and then try rotating this. Well, that's too far across to the left, so I need to be a bit closer to this shape. So I'm going to move one across. Now when you go back, make sure you place your tracing paper exactly on the triangles again. I'm going to try here. Now that's too low, so I'm going to go a bit higher. I'm going to try here. Spot on. Okay, so I've found my centre of rotation, which is here. And if I go back and just do that rotation again, you'll see that the shape has been rotated by 180 degrees, half a turn. So I don't need to say that whether the shape has been transformed, rotated clockwise or anti-clockwise, because 180 degrees is a half a turn. And so it doesn't matter whether you go clockwise or anti-clockwise. So the description is a rotation of 180 degrees around or about, you can say as well, centre, -2, -1.